Hi guys, we're here at the Agriculture Museum with Elena. Say hi, Elena. And since we can't go inside right now, the museum is closed inside, I asked Elena if she'd show us around the museum's garden. So Elena, you want to show us around the garden?
Sure would, Anne. Thanks for coming by. We're not closed and we're not open right now. We are actually closed, but we have this perfect opportunity to go outside and look at the gardens here at the Agriculture Museum. Today we're going to explore the vegetable garden. Now this is a demonstration garden in partnership with the UC Master Gardeners. They're the ones who come out here and work on our gardens because they're Master Gardeners, of course. Well, I'm all ready to take you on a little tour. I've got my sun hat, I've got my gloves, and I've got my suntan or sun lotion on to protect me from the sun. So let's start right over here. What do you think this is? Yes, you're right. It is corn. Let's take a look at one of the corn husks that we have here. Here's an ear of corn. And as you can see, they have a silk top to them. And they're actually just broken off. This one's a little too young to pull yet. They'll be good in a couple of weeks. And then inside you will pull the husk off. And inside you'll see nice, juicy, yellow corn like you find in your supermarket. So these are corn husks. Right over here, we have some sunflowers. Now, do you know what a sunflower looks like? Well, guess what? When they grow up, they're gonna look like that. Now, those sunflowers are on their way out. They're almost gone, but they're hanging in there. But these guys will have some beautiful flowers. You can see there's one starting right here. It's gonna be a beautiful sunflower seed. And then when the sunflowers dry out, they will look like this. Not very pretty, but guess what? They taste really good. Watch this. Does that look like a sunflower to you? Yeah, right? And you just crack it open and eat it. I'm gonna save this one for later. All right, as we walk over here, we have some squash. And squash actually grow on the ground real low like this. As you can see, the sunflowers are tall. These are very low. And you can see right here, we have a few of the squash developing. This is the flower that the squash has. And then this is the squash itself. So it'll just grow and grow and grow. Is there another type of vegetable that kind of grows like that on the ground that has long vines? Can you think of something else? Well, we're gonna explore that in just a second. Come on over here. We're gonna look at some of the other items that we have here in the garden. How about tomatoes? Do you like tomatoes? Well, we sure do. And we have a great patch here of tomatoes. Now you can see that they're green. These are not green tomatoes. These are actually red tomatoes. So what does that tell us? That tells us that these tomatoes are not ready yet. They're not quite ripe. So we have to wait a little bit longer, just like the corn. But they'll be ready maybe in a week or so. Okay? And then, coming over here, we have something very special. We have something called aubergine or eggplants. Have you guys ever seen an eggplant plant? It's really interesting. It's a beautiful plant, has purple all over, and look at that. This is our first eggplant, and it should be ready in about a week or two. Yeah. And of course, we have the flowers that go with it, which are these beautiful purple flowers. The whole plant, except the leaves, are pretty much purple. It's got a beautiful color to it. And in our garden here, we have a lot of vegetables that we can eat, but we also have a lot of herbs. Do you know what an herb is? It's kind of a plant that you can actually use to enhance the taste of your food. Right here we have this beautiful basil. If you could smell it, it smells so good. This is a purple basil. We have some English thyme right here, some Greek oregano, and right over here we have regular basil. Let's take a look at this. This is growing really well. And as you can see, it's just a little bit different than the other basil. So different types of plants can have different varieties. Let's take a look at these two leaves together. So this is a basil as well. And you can see the difference. One is very small and thin, and one is wide. But guess what? They both taste delicious.
I love basil. I put basil on lots of my things.
Yeah, it's really good. Right over here, Ann has just found our native California grapes. And they are delicious when they're ripe. But there's only a couple of days that they're ripe. Up until that point, they're sour, sour, sour. So if you like sour grapes, this is for you. So we have all of these wonderful all these wonderful varieties of vegetables here. But what helps us to keep these vegetables growing rich and strong? Well, one of the things we have is wonderful soil. If you look here, this is different than dirt, right? Soil has nutrients in it, and it's good and healthy for the plants to grow in, where dirt is very low in nutrients. That means it doesn't have a lot of vitamins and minerals and all the wonderful stuff that keeps the plant growing nice and healthy. But there's one other thing that might be even more fun to take a look at rather than soil. But it's a creature that lives in the soil and helps to condition the soil so that it tastes really good for the plants. Makes it really nutritious. And that is worms. Yeah, we all love worms, right? This is a worm pot. And what we're doing is we're conditioning this soil here. Look how beautiful and rich this soil is. And that's because the worms have been in this pot here, and they've been conditioning the soil by eating through and leaving their casings, which makes them makes the soil very rich and nutritious.
He's not coming out.
There's some of these that are eating right now. You can see right here we have some bananas and fruits at the top. And so the worms are coming up out of the ground. Let's see if we can grab a couple of them so you can see them. They're coming up out of the ground to eat this nutritious food that they have. This is bananas and vegetables. They actually do not like citrus because it's too acidic for them, and it can kill them. So we don't put in, what do you think is acidic? Would oranges be acidic and lemons? Yeah, they're pretty acidic, right?
We're going to be doing citrus, Elena, so that's perfect. Thank you.
Fantastic. So citrus is wonderful for us, but not so great for the worms. They don't like it very much. So say hello to the worms, and we're going to let them go back to eating. And we're going to close them back up again.
Thank you, Miss Elena. We're also going to be doing a lesson about worms in the next couple of weeks, so perfect.
Fantastic.
So we'll get to learn more about these great creatures and how they're so helpful for our garden.
And I think that's it for today. We invite you to come by when we're open in September. You can also drive by and take a look at our gardens. Our master gardeners are here on Wednesdays. So when we reopen, please invite your family along to come and ask questions of your own garden in your own house. Thank you for coming to the Agriculture Museum.
Thanks, Elena.